Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome all the participants for today's session. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alhamza Fadl Abbas, and I am a PhD student at the Zman Hashim International Business School. And this session is part of the International Student Society Iraq, the sequence of the workshops that we have done. So this is the new workshop. Inshallah, we are going to conduct it today. And I would like to first thank all the participants to joining us. Thank you very much. And also I would like to talk today about a very important part in your PhD journey and your master journey as well, but most focus on in PhD. Why? Because this session is going to talk about how you turn your thesis into an article. Because as you know, that a lot of students, PhD students, what they do is when they start finishing or finalizing their thesis, they would like to publish their work. They would like to publish their work because their work in their thesis, it is original and novel. And it is very vital and very good if you publish your paper, a paper from your thesis before your final defense, or let's say final viva, because that will support your argument and will let the examiner later as well to know that your work, it is novel and have high quality. All right. So this is this workshop. It's also important for all the participants, even if they are from the on their final year or at the beginning as a first year. All of them, this session, it's important for all of you, inshallah. Okay. So first of all, let me share screen so you can see my screen bigger. Okay. So thesis to article. So as we know that for young researcher, it is imperative and to publish numerous research articles in reputable journals, right? So it's add credibility to their name and proves beneficial for their career ahead. So, however, many researchers find it difficult to write article for publication. They struggle, right? They struggle to even come up with the interesting research question. So an easy way, to publish soon after your PhD is to write a journal article also. And for your thesis, you can publish it after your PhD and during your PhD is up to you. It depends on your progress. And at the same time, you know that when you are in a PhD, you as long as it's part of your research interest, it's part of your field, okay, it's okay to publish a paper like a review paper or conceptual paper or empirical paper. It doesn't matter as long as it's part from your thesis. This is very important. Okay, so so we are talking today more concentrate about the conceptual paper. Why? Because as you know, most of the students, if anyone of you studying business or education, especially business, there is a model, right? There is a conceptual model or framework. You need to prepare. You need to before you enter to your defense or you go into your final viva as well. So how you want to prove that your model, it is credible and it is novel and can be accepted. Well, to publish it in a good journal or publish it in a journal or any index journal, that's will supporting your argument and you're supporting your let's say your field of interest as at the end. Okay. Okay, let's move on now. So why not utilize? We're trying to utilize your hard labor to write an article to a journal. So it is easiest and most logical step toward your first publication apart from better career opportunity. Okay, so you need to publish as a first glance. You can showcase your research work to a wider audience and make significant contribution in your field as well. So the most journal editor are happy to publish articles that have a thesis and in their base. Okay, even if you send a paper for journal or for editor, we will check the paper that is part of your thesis. They will be happy because this is very important in your journey as a PhD student, especially for PhD, as I mentioned. So try as much as you can to publish a paper from your thesis. You can like before your final viva or before your final examination. Okay, final viva voice. So what you need to do, you need to refine, to rewrite your thesis and to convert it to journal article. Okay, as they differ in their overall approach and format. As you know, is that the thesis, there's a lot of details, right? There's almost like 5 chapters, and there's a lot of important things related with the research problem, the literature review methodology, you know, all of these things. You cannot put them all in your research, in your article, right? Your article, it's limited, like, let's say 10 pages, right? Or almost like 15 pages. So how you can transfer or convert your thesis to a journal article? This is the challenging way here. All right. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to helping you or giving you some tips or hints that you can do during your PhD journey. Okay. So for me, I already published my thesis or my article from which is extracted from my thesis, and it's being published in Index Journal. I follow some steps that I will share it with you today, so you can follow it in your own research. All right. So the first thing, there's 8 tips for converting. Okay, for trying to converting your terminal degree for journal publication. So the main differences between the thesis and an article, this is very important. You need to put in your mind. You can see, sorry, just 1 minute, so we can see laser point. Okay, this is the thesis, and here the journal article. Okay, you can see the thesis that meets academic requirements. First differentiation, it is for academic requirements. But for journal article, they are looking for journalistic standards. You need to follow the journal, the standard of the journal. So it's completely different approach. All right. And also here reviewed by selected committee members. Okay, this is the committee members, which is called as we do here in UTM, we have in social science, we have, especially in business and management, we have 2 main exams, let's say, or discussion. The first one called defense, and the second is the final viva or final voice viva. Okay, so the committee, the members, they will identify or they will criticize or evaluate your thesis, right? But for journal article, they are reviewed by a panel of blind reviewers. There are other reviewers. They are not by the committee. There are reviewers over there. They are going to do. So thesis, we have chapters, okay? Journal, we have sections, okay? Thesis, the lengthy, no word limit. Okay, there is no word limit. Must it depends actually on the format of the university. Each university has their own format, but the lengthy it's big. There is no limit. But for journal, there is word limit. Then let's say some journals asking for 4,000, 5,000 words. Okay, if you need to follow this and you need to do the same. And also in thesis, you have table of content. But in the journal article, you have manuscript format, okay? You don't need a table of contents in the journal. And the length research of literature, lengthy, it will be a lot of discussion, especially in, when you're trying to, in chapter 2, literature review. When you're talking about the literature review, there's a lot of details about your variables, about the phenomena you are studying. So there's a lot of details it will be mentioned in a thesis. But in a journal article, it will be succinct research of literature. It will be precise and a summary. Okay, you need to. You need also. It's important to mention the literature, but you need to mention literature at least one page. Okay, good. So also the RAB. IRB, which is mean Institutional Review Board, approval described in details. You need to take the approval, which is, they call it the faculty board, okay? But here, the Institutional Review Board is depend on 3 or 4 sentences, which is depend on also the reviewers who are, or the editor who take the last decision regarding your work. And also the description and copies of tools used, you need to mention. And here are essential and succinct tool information. You need to be precise when you mention the tool you are going to use in your research. And also the thesis, all findings, okay, which is in chapter 5. That's why we make a chapter, because in chapter 5, you go in details talking about your thesis, about your results, about your findings. So you need to present all of them in the thesis, but you cannot do this in the journal article, okay? So in the journal article, you need to select findings to present it. That means you need to show the discussion part or your findings in very summary and very precise and concise way, okay? Let's say for 2 pages, almost, at most 2 pages, no more than 2 pages. So how you are going to do that, okay? So all of these things you need to put it in mind. And also the thesis, you need to follow the grammar background, which is in the thesis they're using verb tenses, but in the article they're using verb tenses, and fairly consistent is also verb tenses, both of them, but they are more in the journal, it's more depend on the grammar, and also check your English and your quality of your work, and also the grammar of your work. Okay, so these are the main 8 tips, which is showing the main difference between thesis and article. All right. Okay. So any questions so far? Or I can proceed for the next session. Sorry, for the next slide. Just write down on the chat box so I can know that everything is gonna clear for you. Thank you. Okay. Okay, looks like everything is clear now. Okay, all right. So thank you. So just give me one minute, please. I just need to check. I will stop sharing the screen. Sorry for this. I just need the purpose for taking a snapshot for the attendance, please. So just give me 1 minute. I will appreciate. Thank you. All right. Thank you for your patience. All right, all right. Sorry for that. Sorry. Okay, let me share my screen again. All right. You can see my screen, right? All right, thanks. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's move on. All right. Good. So let's go to the planning the article. How we are going to plan our article to be suitable for a specific journal. So as you know, a single paper is a journal should contain a central message that you want to get across. Right. So this could be a novel aspect of methodology that you have used in your PhD study. All right. So a new theory or uninteresting modification you have made to a theory that will be consider your work as a novel or as a contribution of your work here. So then to create a paper outline, bearing to find the needs too, you need to know the three specific things. The first thing is isolate a manageable size. All right. Try to create also coherent story or argument. Make an argument like standing, target a journal readership, and also trying to change the writing convention from that used in your thesis. You know, you need to make some changes as well, because in your thesis, the argument you make is depend on the formatting of the the formatting of the university. All right, but in the journal, it will be different. Okay, I will show you later. I will show you one of my papers how I change the details regarding to follow the guidelines of the journal. So this is very important. So the first thing you need to know to be very sure to identify the appropriate target journal. So we need the first step to do when you're trying to choose the right journal to find the aim and the scope of the journal. Okay, why? Because and to make sure that your paper is in the journal scope. This is very important because many students they fail to submit, or they submit it and they get rejection after 1 week because they didn't follow the scope of the journal. This is very important. You need to know exactly is this journal in the same field you are interested in or not, in the same scope or not. This is very important. It should be suitable for your paper. And also you need to check the journal recommended structure, which is called formatting. So, and reference style, you know, some journals using APA, some journals using Canova, some journals using different IEEE. There's a lot of styles the journals follow. So you need to put in your mind, this is also the formatting. And also to find the information about and where you find this, you'll find it in the author's guidelines in each journal. Okay, if you don't follow these main steps, you will get disk rejected. Disk rejection. That means the editorial board, they will reject your work immediately. They will not take it to the send it to the reviewers and take them to the next step or the next process, the next phase of the process. All right. Second, you need to shorten the length of your thesis, as we mentioned, because journal articles have much shortened the thesis. To be sure to use like very tighter framework and more compact style. So try to treat your thesis as a separate work. Okay, don't copy and paste your work on your thesis to make a paper. This is not right. You need to make changes regarding after you check the journal, the formatting of the journal, the style of the journal, then you need to follow the journal guidelines. And according to that guidelines, you build your paper, which is extracted from your thesis. All right. Then when you do this, you need to paraphrase and express the same idea but in a different way. This is very important. Actually, I face this problem personally, you know. I face this problem, and sure, Ola, I will share the slides, inshallah. No problem, no problem. I will share it later, inshallah, after the end of the session. Okay, so so this is one of the problem I already face it, and it's make me put me in trouble actually. You know, I didn't paraphrase. Okay, I didn't paraphrase. I take the ideas and I put it in my paper. The idea for my thesis, and after that, I make I rearrange the ideas, but I didn't do paraphrasing. Then after I send it to the journal and the journal accept my work, now the journal is online, but I face an issue after I trying to submit my final thesis. I find there is a lot of similarities and these similarities coming from my own paper. Okay, so this is very important. When you're trying to change, you're trying to write a paper from your thesis, when you extracted the ideas, try to paraphrase them, to change. I mean not change the idea is still there, to paraphrase the words and using other words, okay, and using paraphrasing tools that will helping you. Okay, so I don't want you to fall in this problem, okay, or to fall in this issue in the future. So put this in your mind. All right, good. So number 3, also you need to select and repurpose part of your thesis. Okay, repurpose. That's mean you need to take some parts. You are the one who make the paper. Sorry, the thesis, and you know all the details. Then when you try to convert your thesis to an article, you need to take the main sections, okay, the main headings or headlines that you think they are appropriate for you in your article or in your paper. All right, this is also very important because you know that the thesis, there's a lot of details over there. There's a lot of headings, a lot of ideas, a lot of subheadings. So you need to precise and to know which part I need to use it to put it on my paper. All right. Then after that, you need to highlight the key point you want the reader to understand. The key point is that the keywords that you are using it. All right. What is your keywords? You know, in the thesis, there is no keywords, right? In the thesis, there is no keywords. The keywords exist only in the article. So you need to know, because you are the one who create or who made this thesis, and this is your own ideas, you need to know which is the right words. You need to put them as a keywords so it will be easier for the reader who need to read your work as well in the future after you publish it. All right, good. Then after that, as I mentioned, that you need to reformat as well the introduction as an abstract. Okay, so this is very important. You need to know that abstract in a journal article are typically very short, not very short, but the maximum or the minimum 100 to 21 20 to 100 to 250 words. So you know that the abstract and the thesis, it's take as at least 1 page. Okay, I'm talking about the final abstract. It's 1 page. Okay, so as long as it's 1 page, that means the minimum it will be 500 words, and this is not acceptable in the journal. So you need to summarize it. You need to downsizing it. Okay, so it's likely to you need to format differently, but should contain all the key elements. Okay, so when you're trying to make the abstract suitable for article, you need to take the key elements, the key words, the main parts of your article, all right? And also you need to, like, using your introduction and discussion as basis for the abstract can be a good starting point. Because as you know, the abstract, it will be written at the end. You know, after you finish all the article, the abstract will be written at the end. I don't know if you if you attend the last workshop I did regarding how to write your paper, how to prepare your manuscript. I'm talking about the structure, how you build your writings, or how which section you start from. As I mentioned, we need to start from the tables, figures, then you go to the discussion, findings, introduction, and then abstract when you write. This is the way, okay? It is from the bottom to the above, not from the above to the bottom. That's mean you cannot write the abstract first, then introduction first. No, this is will be at the end. All right. So this is the main point regarding the how you understand the abstract. So also you need to modify the introduction. This is very important. You know, in the introduction part, in your chapter 1, it is very long. Actually, it's almost take to 3 to 4 pages. I read a lot of theses in UTM. They have very long introduction. You know, so in the thesis and the if you want to write for an article or a journal, the introduction should be at most 2 pages, no more than 2 pages. Okay, so this is also you need to put in consideration, because your thesis may have more like more than one research question or hypothesis, so which are not all relevant to your paper, right? So you consider combining research question and focusing on one on the article, okay? Because the thesis is very big, is a major work, is you work for 3 to 4 years. You cannot put it all in the article. You need to choose one. Let's say you need to choose at least, let's say you have 4 questions or 5 questions in your thesis. It's okay. You can take 2 questions, 1 question, and turn it to be an article, okay? Turn it to be a research paper, which is already extracted from your thesis, all right? You cannot take the 4 objectives or the 4 questions of your thesis to make it an article. This is you cannot do that. Actually, you can make more than 1 paper. Let's say you have 4 questions. You can write 4 papers from your thesis. Why? Because each question can be a paper. All right. This is also another way that you can expand your publication and enlarge your publication when you're trying to take everything from your thesis. So as much as you can, as I said, make the introduction short and use previously published paper, at least 3 from the target journal as example. This is also a very good way you need to follow. You know, when you try to find a journal and find the paper, you need to go to the issues and you find the latest paper is published, and you need to find a similar paper like yours has been published in this journal. Let's say you have a review paper. We need to go to the review paper published in this journal and put it an example. Put it an example and to take it as you know, to take it as an example and to work regarding that paper and follow the same structure. This is very important as well. All right. Okay, so here, as I mentioned that, first of all, this is also a shortcut about the difference between a thesis and journal articles. As I mentioned, the purpose, you need to know the purpose, you need to know the potential audience, who they are, the length. We talk about the abstract, the introduction, also the materials and method, the discussion, the reference, the appendices, you need to, all in details here as already mentioned here. So, and as you see, for example, here, let's say regarding the materials, here in the thesis, it's extensive presentation. There's a lot of tables, a lot of figures. You need to present it here. So in the journal article, you cannot take all the figures. You just need to mention what methodology you have been used. And the same when we talk about the discussion, when you need to discuss, which is this part, which is represent the chapter 5 in your thesis, as you know, you need to be very clear and concise to make the results in your journal. And the reference, because the reference style and the thesis and the university you are in, let's say for example UTM, all right, this is you need to do, what you need to do is you need to follow their format. But when you turn it to a journal article, you need to make sure the reference style of that article or that journal, so you need to change the reference style from, let's say, APA to IEEE, or APA to Hanover, or APA to any other style you need to use. And the same thing for appendices. The appendices, it's in the thesis, you need to put it at the end. There's some theses and UTM, like they have 2 to 3 to 4 appendices, but in the journal article, you need to, it's also possible to make appendices, but it should be very limited, okay, not too many, and the space should be also very small, okay, not take too many space in your work. All right. So here, as I mentioned, that the part of the border work, and this is showing the difference. Okay, so this is this x and y, the axis and the horizontal. This is directions showing that, for example, here on the left, the journal studies article. So it should be part of the board work, is a border work, okay, and should be selective. All right. And if you talk about dissertation, it will be also a part of the border work, but it will be like a comprehensive, more not selective. All right. Like if you have a course assignment or you want to do a review, a literature review, it should be like a standalone work. It's not a part of very big work. Okay. And also the literature need to be comprehensive, but for course assignment, you need to be selective. So this is just a differentiation between how the journal, the dissertation, the literature review, between the comprehensive, selective part or stand work, and how we can differentiate between the two. All right. So I can mention also again the component of the research process. You can see here that there are 9 main points you need to put in your mind as well. The first point is the purpose. Okay, you need to know the research question, the assumptions you have, the sampling method, okay, the data collection method, the research methods, the quality criteria, data analysis, report writing. All of these things, it can be part of the thesis and also can be part of the article or a journal or a paper. But you need to put in your mind, you need to shorten your work. You cannot just copy and paste from your thesis on your article or your paper and to follow. All right. So as I mentioned last time, that the main thing, the main difference, you can see on the left side, I already mentioned this in the last session, and I said you need to follow each article, you need to follow this components, the main component, the title, abstract, keywords, AMOAD, which is called introduction, methods, results, and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, reference, and supplementary data. But if you see on the right hand, this is regarding the thesis. So there's a lot of details here. You can see the content, talking about the introduction, and then talking about the literature review, and also there is a subheadings for literature review. As you see here, the methodology, like participation, population, sample, okay, with the results, conclusion, discussion, and also you can see here the recommendation, the references, and you see appendix. There are A, B, C, D. There's 4 appendices here. You can see this cannot be available in the paper. This is only in the thesis. So this is the main thing, the main the key points you need to put in your mind. All right. Okay, so this is my research paper. It is extracted from a research for my thesis. It has been published in a business perspective. It's one of the good index journal in Scopus. And this is my title: Intrinsic and Centric Motivation on Cyber Market Darwinism, the Role of Information Chain Behavior. Actually, this has been published, and this paper I will show it to you right now. I will present the paper and showing you the content. This has been extracted from my thesis, and I will show you how I follow the structure of the journal, and that helped me to accept my work and publish in this journal. All right. Okay. Thank you for your attendance, and thank you very much for your time. And I really appreciate. So now I will just showing you, before we proceed for the questions, if any have a questions, I will just showing you my article and the content of the article, so it will be easier for you to understand what I just said. All right. So just give me one minute, please. All right, just okay, so I will stop sharing my screen now. All right, just 1 minute, so I can share the. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Most welcome for all of you. All right, and just let me share this one. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen now? All right. Good. Good. Very good. All right. So okay. This is the paper here. Okay. Okay. This is the title, and this is the authors, and this is the citation of the paper. If someone who want to cite. Okay. This is the details of the paper, so we don't go to the details. Rabilu, you cannot see the. If you cannot see the screen, you can just rejoin to the workshop. I will let you in again. Okay, and you can see it, inshallah, because the other colleagues, other participants, they already see. Yes, Khalid, of course. The video it will already recorded, and we will share it later, inshallah. Okay, so so as you see here, this is a title. Okay, and first of thing I did, what I did, I go to the journal, actually. Okay, to the journal, and I read the guidelines. First of thing, no, I read it is innovative marketing. You see, this is innovative marketing. It is the title. This is the business perspective. It is the publisher. Okay, and innovative marketing, it is the journal, which is under this publisher. All right, and then we can see that here, when I go here, what I did at first, I go to the to the scope of the journal, and I find out this is innovative marketing, and my work is also marketing. You see, cyber market, Mavinism here. It is related, and also talking about motivations and information sharing behavior. You see, this is the keywords I have here. You see, so I said, this is a suitable journal for me, so why I don't give a try, all right? So what I did first, after I check the journal, I go to the scope, then after that, I go to the format. So I need to follow the format. So I format my work here, all right? So what I did, you can see the abstract here, it's very short, you see? If you see my abstract, my thesis is almost 1 page. You can see here, it's very short. You need to be very precise. You can see it is only like 1, 2, and 3 paragraphs, okay? That's it. This is a short abstract, is already acceptable to be published here, all right? And the same thing when you go down, here, you can see the keywords over here. As I mentioned, because I'm talking about intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, market Mavinism, information sharing behavior, structural equation modeling, because I use this as structural equation modeling to analyze my my work. So this is the main keywords. So you need also to do the same, okay? All right, and here also GEL classification. This is talking about the classification of the scientists. We are not going talking about this. Maybe another time we talk about this in details, because right now we just concentrate about the content of the paper. Okay, so here you see this is the introduction. Okay, so as you see the introduction here, it is 1 paragraph, 1, okay, 2, 3, 4. You see, it is very, it's not very long actually, it's short, but it is very concise and very selective. Okay, that's how I use it. This introduction is already for my thesis, you know, it's already extracted from my thesis, but in the introduction, my thesis is very big and very long. So you need to know selective, you need to be selective, and you see which part of your work you need to be inserted in under your article. Okay, then what I talk about the literature review and hypothesis. Here you can see this is the literature review of the work, of my work. I'm talking about here all the literature review, talking about the previous literature review, about my variables, as you see here, and you can see also the you can see also the it should be modern. You know that the last papers published in your work, I see in 2020, the reference it should be also the latest reference. You can see here. It's also important to put in your mind. But my work, because my thesis and it is few papers has been done, so so that's why I inserted there's 2005 or 2007, because this is fundamental references to my work. Okay, then after that I'm talking about the social network site in Iraq. All right, because my work on my thesis, it's in Iraq. Okay, and this is, by the way, it is a conceptual paper. I didn't tell you that the content of the type of the paper. It's a conceptual paper, which is, can say it's a conceptual and empirical at the same time. Okay, so I'm talking about the social network site in Iraq and how have been used and how many users of Iraqi users there. You can see this is the Statista 2020 talking about, this is a statistics talking about the using of social network. You see, in Iraq, I make it only 1 page. You can see here. Then after that, I move to the hypothesis here. So hypothesis, what I did, I put them in 1 section. Okay. So you see the hypothesis. I have here hypothesis. I have almost 9 hypotheses. Okay, this is my hypothesis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, until 9. So you can see this structure. I follow this journal structure. Some other journals, they are not accepting this type of organizing. Some journal, they asking you to put each hypothesis. Before you put hypothesis, you put the argument, then you put the hypothesis number 1. Before you go to the hypothesis number 2, you need to put the argument to support the hypothesis for number 2, then you put the hypothesis number 2. And the same thing with the others. But this journal, they have different criteria. Because as I told you, you need to follow them. They asked me to combine them here all together. And if I want to discuss these, they said I will discuss it in the main section. Okay, then you see, after I put this is the literature review and hypothesis, I start to tell you, this is the methodology. Okay, this is the methodology I use. This is which is mean the chapter 3, right? This is your chapter 3 here. And then when I talk about the methodology, I talk about the demographic details of the respondent, because I already distributed the questionnaire. Because I follow primary data. You can see demographic profile here, the male and female, gender, age, and the education over here for demographic profile for the respondents. It's very important as well to put a new paper if you have a conceptual paper or empirical paper. And also here I talk about this table too, talk about the respondent use and weight and social network site. You can see that these are the main social network site in Iraq, and the most popular one is Facebook, and then YouTube, and Instagram, then Twitter. It's not arranged, but it's okay. I mean, it should be Instagram here. But the idea is you're showing that the frequency of the respondent, which platforms are most useful. Okay. Also here the information quantity, how many respondents they say we have a lot of information. So I not go in the details. So after that, I went to the measurement model. I don't know if the attendants here are from social science researchers, but this is it's more suitable for them. But as a structure is same whatever your field was. All right. So you see, this is my study framework. Okay, this is my study framework. I have independent variables here. This is my mediation, the full mediation, and this is the DV, which is dependent variable. Okay, and when I talk about the measurement model, I talk about the SIM, which is called structural equation modeling, and I go to the details. Here, I start talking about the latent variable, my variable here, and I put here very concise interpretation, or you can say this description for my variable. Then I do the normality check. Actually, normality check, it is very important when you do CFA, which is conformity factor analysis. This is very important in your chapter 4, okay, when you write it. And also reliability and validity. This is a very important part when you do a paper, when you want to validate your questionnaire, all right? And then common method bias. I will not go to details here. I'm just showing you the structure. Then we go to the results, okay? And the results, which is mean chapter 5. This is your chapter 5 in your thesis. You can see the results here. I start talking about the measurement model for this for the main construct, and this is numbering here. I'll not go to details talking about this. Inshallah, I will make another workshops in the future talking about the analysis part, especially for social science and using different softwares like SPSS or PLS. All right. So here are also the demographic statistics here as well, and then these are my hypotheses path. You can see it's very important. You can see which hypothesis accepted, which has been rejected. is already mentioned here. Okay, and the final one part is discussion. Okay, the discussion part, which is also actually, sorry, this one results, it's more related with chapter 4. Sorry, this is results chapter 4, because these tables are extracted from chapter 4 of my thesis. All right, then you come here for discussion part. In discussion part, you need to discuss your results, is very important, which is mean chapter 5. Okay, so as you see that here are the estimation model. This is using PLS, smart PLS. This is my main variables, the IV, and the mediation, the full mediation of market mechanism, and the information behavior, which is the DV. Okay, and here I talk about in details about the results. I extracted this from my chapter 5, but I was very precise. I choose which part of my chapter 5 I need to insert it, I need to put it in my thesis, in my paper. Okay, so all this is discussion part. All right, this is the discussion part, all the details. And finally, I make the conclusion here. Actually, conclusion also is part of the chapter 5. You can see that the conclusion is also not very long. Okay, you conclude what you have done in your work, and finally, this is the other contributions, and you put your references. All right. Yeah. So this is how you try to build your research paper, and you work you already extracted from your thesis. This is the main step, and I hope this steps is already informative for all of you. All right, so I think that's all I have.